Yaffee program on WVNN.
Second hour of the Yaffee program. News Talk 770 AM, 92.5 FM, WVNN. Don't forget, if you miss any of the show live, the podcast is up pretty much anywhere you get your podcasts. Easy way to find it, go to WVNN.com, but you can also find it on the iHeartRadio app, on Spotify, TuneIn Radio, Apple Podcasts, all of that. Headline here from Fox News. It says that Minnesota agitators have been arrested in the wake of the church invasion. It's at least according to Attorney General Pam Bondi. So federal authorities have arrested activist lawyer Nikema Levy Armstrong and St. Paul School Board member Chantel Louise Allen. It says federal authorities have arrested two anti-ICE agitators after a mob stormed a church service in St. Paul, Minnesota. Attorney General Pam Bondi announced that today. This is what she said, quote, "Minutes ago at my direction, HSI and FBI agents executed an arrest in Minnesota. So far, we've arrested Nikema Levy Armstrong, who allegedly played a key role in organizing the coordinated attack on City's Church in St. Paul, Minnesota." So we have to talk more about this and more about the ICE operations in general and the beyond reason reaction to it all. Christopher Reed is joining the show. He is host of The Daily Controversy. You can often catch his stuff at thedailycontroversy.com. His podcast is also available anywhere podcasts are available. Chris, what do you think about this? About time that people are being arrested over this?
Yeah, I mean, those two are the most vile human beings. And the funny thing is, one of these ladies had been she was in a part of an NGO, and she got state funds to run the NGO, and is supposed to help the community. Well, it turns out if they were getting paid, let's say $400,000, she would give herself $256,000, and then she'd give $140,000 to the community, but the community was just to organize riots. So these people are all part of the scam. It's not just the Somalians. These people are, wow. But these are devout. These people are evil. They're communists. They should go to jail. And the funny thing is they're charging them with, I think, the Ku Klux Klan Act, because that's a conspiracy against rights, and the FACE Act. And as far as the facts and the law, they are as dead guilty as you can get. Now, they'll have the chance for a trial and whatnot. You never know what's going to happen with a Democrat judge. But I think there's going to be a lot more arrests, and you kind of have to, because the Democrats, they have to realize invading a church and attacking kids and kids crying in the background, that's not going to make them look good in a midterm, especially when commercials on that. It's going to make them look bad to normies, and they probably know it. So I would expect a lot more arrests coming, but these are two serious ones. And finally, Pam's arresting someone, so thank God.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to several people, and usually they'll tell me, why haven't people been arrested yet in this incident? Well, what's the holdup? I mean, it's literally on video, multiple angles. We know exactly who was in that church, and we know it was illegal. Although, as I mentioned before, Keith Ellison, who's the Attorney General of Minnesota, that means he's Minnesota's chief law enforcement officer, apparently doesn't understand the law himself. Go ahead, if you can, Walker, play the Keith Ellison cut that I sent you.
Do with whether they're going to focus or investigate you. So I wish in a normal time I would say no. I'd say this is First Amendment activity. In time like this, it's just really difficult to say because the only one thing is clear. If Trump likes you, you can do no wrong. If he doesn't, he's going to use every weapon he can against you, including our criminal justice system.
I mean, it is still almost unbelievable to me, that cut, because he said storming a church, interrupting a service is normal First Amendment activity. Says you couldn't use the FACE Act. He said that multiple times in the past couple days. And my response usually is he's either lying to you or he's lying to himself, maybe a little bit of both. But, I mean, he's absolutely wrong based on the law, right, Chris?
Yeah, he's an idiot. I actually was at an event where Keith Ellison was like 2 chairs away from me. And I was actually sitting, this is funny, so Joaquin Phoenix was in front of me, and Steven Tyler was also there. I got invited by this reporter lady I know, and we just had a good relationship, but she's super liberal. She invited me. I was like, I'll just go to this thing. And again, it was kind of a left-wing thing. But I remember Keith Ellison was everything he said that night was full on communist, let's overthrow the United States kind of situation. The guy is a nut job. He is as corrupt as they get. I mean, of course he doesn't understand the law, and he doesn't actually care what the law is. They have him on tape basically saying he's going to get people to back off the investigation to the Somalians. And this is like a few days before they get arrested, and he only gave the money back after they got convicted. Even during the trial, he was saying, "Well, I'm not giving the money back. No one's been convicted yet." He had to do it. So yeah, I wouldn't take his word on anything. He's not a real attorney. He hates this country, and he'll never do the right thing. And people that voted for him for AG, even though I know the voting system in Minnesota is largely fraudulent, they really should be ashamed of themselves. This guy is a terrible human being.
I mean, it's so cut and dry in the law that under the FACE Act, you cannot interfere, intimidate, interrupt a place of worship. What else do you call that? What they were doing? I don't know what else you call that. You can't say if that's just a normal protest. And then, of course, you have some of the leftist pundits say, well, you know, the reason why they're upset is that's the home of white supremacy, evangelical Christians. And they don't like Don Lemon because he's black and he's gay. This is white supremacy at work. And churches like that, it's white supremacist. And then, of course, you see videos and pictures from people in the service, and they're not all white because it's not about that at the church. But, I mean, you look at the law, like you said, the Ku Klux Klan Act or the FACE Act, it's pretty cut and dry here, it seems like.
Yeah, and it's so funny they always say that because you never see them go into, like, all black churches and say, oh, this is black supremacy. They are racist against everyone. I was like, first of all, even in those black churches, you're welcome to come visit if you're white. They're not going to kick you out or exclude you. And in churches that are predominantly white, everyone's welcome. And in that church specifically, they have agents Hispanic. I think they have a few African-American members as well. Joe Rigney, who's been on my show, was the pastor of that church for 8 years before he moved to Moscow, Idaho. And again, this is like a very loving church plant. It tries to reach the community. And they actually are a lot more diverse, if you want to use that word, than, say, a normal, like, suburban church. So even this idea of the white supremacy nonsense is completely false. It's ridiculous. That church is very open, and it's a normal Southern Baptist church. I go to a Southern Baptist church. It's basically the same type of church. The pastor's great. And you notice that nobody like, fought back, even though they were afraid, even though, you know, there was a murder, children were murdered a few miles from there by a trans activist. They just sat there and read the Bible and prayed, and when they engaged, they were very thoughtful. They played worship music, and they thought, we'll let the authorities take care of it, and that's exactly what they did. So, again, Don Lemon's so bad, CNN fired him. I mean, it wasn't just conservatives that don't like him. Like, nobody liked him. I mean, he's a terrible human being. So, and he was sued for sexual assault and battery in 2019. Eventually, he did win that case, so I will point that out. But the guy, again, he's awful. He was doing that because he hates Christianity. Everyone in there, besides the churchgoers, hated Christianity. But they're going to enjoy, even if they lose, they're going to be spending the next 6 months to 2 years in the legal process, even if they're victorious at trial. So there will be consequences for these people, even if they don't ultimately get convicted.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that last part up, too, because that was kind of my point. I mean, these leftist agitators, why target a church? Now, they claim is because they believe someone at the church worked for ICE. But no, they really hate Christianity. Yeah. But they hate Christianity. It's an attack on Christianity. When you're talking about radical leftists, they believe in their leftist religion. They don't want to admit it's a religion, but it basically is a religion. And they're going to attack Christians. They're going to attack Christianity and try to undermine it any way they can. And that's why we have to stop this, because it won't end. If we don't put people in jail over something like this, they'll keep doing it.
Socialism or communism never taken over a nation that has a strong church. It's never happened. If you look in Germany prior to the Nazis taking over, the German church was all but dead. I mean, I think you had like 10-15% participation, and that was in like the 1920s. You can look at Russia, the Orthodox Church. Nobody was going to it before the Communist Revolution. America, its church is weaker than it was 50 years ago, but is actually growing over the last 2-3 years, which is really positive. But so the communists, they see Christianity as the greatest threat to their ability to take over a country. And the thing is, they're 100% right. With Christianity strong, if the family is strong, no nation has ever embraced socialism. And that's why they're going after churches. And it at least makes rational sense that they did that, but it is highly illegal.
So do you think more people will be arrested? Do you think Don Lemon might be arrested over this?
Oh, I think they're going to probably have to arrest everyone that participated. They can't just make selective arrest of the leaders. I mean, that wouldn't be right. That wouldn't be smart as a legal strategy. So yeah, everybody that invaded there has to get arrested. In the same way, the Biden administration arrested everyone who even slightly trespassed during January 6th, even if they were there for 3 minutes, went in and out, didn't touch anyone. They still put those people in jail for years. So yeah, anyone that walked into there to disrupt for 45 minutes has to get arrested, has to get prosecuted. Some of them may win. That's fine. But at least they'll have to go through a 2-year process of jury trials. They'll have to do depositions. It will strongly disrupt their lives no matter what. And that in itself will be a deterrent. And some of them will be convicted.
And you kind of mentioned this earlier. I tend to agree with you. You know, if the economy is doing well, that's going to hurt Democrats in the midterms. That'll help Republicans. But this kind of stuff does too, right? I still think one of the main reasons Trump won, it was a rejection of the radical left in this country. And when the radical left keeps making themselves known like this, that just encourages people to either not show up or vote Republican. So stuff like this actually helps Republicans in the midterms.
Yeah, the more caustic they are, the more they push trans ideology, the more they attack churches, things like that, the more it's going to, again, it's a base election. It's not that the people in church aren't voting Republican. It's just that if you make them angry, the ones that might not have voted are coming out to vote, and they'll crawl through glass to vote, and that can be a deciding factor in a midterm.
Talking with Christopher Reed. He is host of The Daily Controversy. Check out his show, all his stuff at thedailycontroversy.com. So when we get back from the break, we have to talk about a report. You shared this with me, Chris, and it's pretty interesting because I had saw the reports on how they said ICE apparently gassed kids on their way into a home or something. And then it turns out it's not true. And it was just a giant grift, whoever was saying this. So we'll talk about that next and much more. We'll be back here in just a sec on the Yaffee program.
You're listening to Yaffee on WVNN.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret, with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
The CJ Pearson Show.
I'm CJ Pearson, and I'm the host of The CJ Pearson Show. Every week, we'll take on the biggest cultural, political, and moral battles in America head on.
From a perspective you won't hear on mainstream media.
No spin, no filters, and no apologies.
Straight talk and fearless, real perspective.
Family, faith, country, bold truth, real conviction, zero permission. This is The CJ Pearson Show.
The CJ Pearson Show. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
Hey, I'm Chris Van Vliet. This is Insight with Chris Van Vliet. Go behind the scenes and beyond the headlines with people like John Cena.
That's where Never Give Up comes from. I wasn't Brock. I wasn't Roman. I wasn't Dwayne. I was last.
And the biggest names in pro wrestling and beyond.
It's a legitimate interview.
This is Insight with
Chris Van Vliet.
Insight with Chris Van Vliet. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.